Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the YouTube account and we're going to be looking at the new thrilling voyage that came up within the Fantastic Beasts. This one is going to be the Treasure Tail, so I'm going to show you a couple different formations, a couple different variations that you can run through here. But overall, when it comes to this, you want to make sure you're getting all of the bait out of here to build up the beast. You want to make sure you're also getting the diamonds. There are some additional resources in here. So looking at the comps that we're running, I actually chose 4 different comps. Now these in any given order, where if we look at the build, looking at the first one, using the Awakened version of Shimira, we do have Athalia in here. We have Envy. We are also using the new beast, Lan and Misha. Now Misha, very important within a formation as a buffer, as a cheat death, energy regeneration, does incredibly well as a hero. Same with Lan. Lan does incredibly well. Now a lot of players don't have Lan, so that's why some of these formations do not include them. But the combination of Lan and Misha together do work incredibly well. Now, Shimira in here, going to be super important to run Shimira in different formations. And again, kind of looking at it because of the ability to keep everyone alive. Envy, and then we do have the Awakened version of Athalia. So this is a very, very high level, very expensive team that you can run in here. It will run through all 25 stages. Now looking at team number 2, little bit of a different vibe. So we have Scion in here. We do have the Awakened version of Iran, and we also do have Ivan in here. Now again, if you do not have Land, there are a few substitutions in here. When we start looking at some of the, again, kind of the higher level support heroes that we have in here that do some very, very similar things, is when you start looking at like a Melion could work in here, a Valfira could work in here, a Shuna could work in here if you don't have them. Even thinking like the Awakened version of Solus, looking at Palmer, there are a few different ones. Even Nox could probably work in this formation to push through a majority of the content. Now, team number 3, this one is a little bit, again, kind of different. So we do run Hilduin in here. We do have the Awakened version of Lucius. If you have them built out, we have Aurelia. Aurelia is another one. Again, you can kind of sub in a few different formations. Nox Valfira is in here as well. And then the last one is an old kind of classic one. We do have, again, the Awakened version of Shimira in here. We're running Liberta with Lucilla, and then we do have Ivan back here. Even if you dropped up Envy, if you did not have Envy, and you put Athalia in here, again, it would still work in formation-wise, just kind of swapping out to what heroes and what you really do have on your account. Now, because I literally just got the trickery, I'm going to go through here and run through, get all of the diamonds, finish out this game mode. You can't auto this, you can't skip it. Now, overall, the trickery beast or the trickery monster in here, pretty cool to see. I think a lot of players are really going to like the way that this one works. We're already using it and seeing it in a lot of best in slot formations, which is kind of crazy because literally it has been out for a few hours and already we are seeing it in a lot of different places. Now, traditionally, when it comes to this game mode, it's meant to be used, or we really ran it with the newest beast that we have, which of course is the trickery beast. Right off the bat, that is how, again, they had to be run once upon a time. At this point, a majority of formations that you run in here will go ahead and will sweep this in its entirety, and it will sweep it pretty quick. Again, I choose to run this formation. SP effect, we could use Shimira's in here. We could use Envy's. I believe it does use Envy's in here. Just running the SP effect, running and really amplifying the damage. But you'll see it does take a little bit of time to get the formations down, but it is pretty seamless to run through here. Now, also remember that when we have the beast rearing is only available for 28 days. So once it comes on release, you only have a certain amount of days to run it, and then that will leave, meaning you're not going to be able to get all of the additional resources and all of the additional treasure that does come out of this specific event. You have to do the event when it does come up, and you do have to run through it pretty quick because after a month, unfortunately, you're not going to get any of the resources. And of course, when we fight Brutus, we wait for that immunity to drop off because we don't have anyone that can literally just kill him straight through the shield. But formations will change. The beasts that you're fighting will change. The challenge goals will change. And you can still go through here and kind of run it with the majority of formations. Does work incredibly well. Again, it kind of gets boring basic with all of these. And the difficulty rating of these has been incredibly nerfed. If you're a player that actually started when these were released with the Fantastic Voyage, they were so incredibly difficult. A majority of players couldn't even make it through any of the content at all. So it was horribly overtuned, horribly difficult, very similar to what we've seen with the class-specific artifacts once upon a time. They were very high, overtuned, very difficult to finish through. As it seems like AFK Arena stays around for 6 years, it seems like a lot of the content does get a lot easier. And of course, like an account like mine, where you have pretty much everyone built, but even if you just have one copy unlocked, they do give you access to all of the heroes built. So you're really focusing on more of what beast you're running in here. If you have very low level beasts, it might be a little bit more difficult to get through the content, just for the fact of being able to move through here and get through the beasts. But any progression that you can make really does make a big difference. Now, again, if you ran probably Marseille in here as a damage dealer, you could possibly get that to work with Laios as your support, even though he's a warrior, still does play a really strong support role in a lot of different formations. But even if, again, you ran Scion in here, you had a lot of different damage dealers, I feel like even with the RNG factor, you should be able to get through the content pretty easy. Even looking here at Nadia, anytime you fight Naruko, Nadia is just a nightmare to kill with the immunity and also the healing, also getting bigger. Very, very difficult to take that one down. Now, overall, when you're getting to the end of this, the Zero Limit Challenge, it gives you, I believe, a temporary like bottom of the frame. I forget exactly what they call it because I don't really worry about collecting them, but it gives you kind of a little piece on the bottom that displays for, I think it's 60 days. It's very short-lived with that. A lot of players, again, don't spend the time and effort, myself included, to go ahead and farm those little tags or those little bars on the bottom because it doesn't have any impact for things in AFK Arena. If it doesn't have an impact, if it doesn't bring rewards, I usually do not focus on it. I really, really don't focus on it at all if there is not a benefit to the account. So we're already 10 stages through. We'll be able to go through here and just 3-star these in their entirety with a few different formations. Again, damage dealers are probably one of the most versatile that you can kind of swap out. Having some heroes like Lan or even Misha do make a big difference on, again, kind of the performance of the hero itself and keeping everyone alive in the entirety. So I'm not really going to bore you with the rest of it. We've seen the formations. We'll just go ahead and farm this through, run it through, and get all of the stars in here. Eventually, we might even have to retry once or twice, but usually we don't. We can just get through the content pretty easy. And of course, pretty quickly getting some diamonds, but also the beast rearing, like I said, make sure that you're getting all the diamonds and getting all of the baits in the entirety. That is really one of the absolute priorities that you want to do. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.